This video is more of a what I did to make my brake rotor forge than a how-to. The body of the forge came from this gas grill, which I purchased for $10. So the only thing that I actually bought, everything else was scrounged. I'll be cutting the protruding sides off to make clearance for the deck and saving them later. They'll be used in another spot. Here's the remaining body. I will be cutting the bottom out of it to make room for the tweer. This sheet metal was scrounged from an old farm fuel tank. It's the end, and I'll be cutting it to fit where the grills used to fit. Cutting a hole to make access for the brake drum to drop into. And here's the result with a front rotor installed. This one is actually too shallow, and I ended up changing it later. You're now looking at the tweer, which I fabricated from 3-inch pipe. The flange ends were from 1/2-inch plate that I welded on. And now we have the ash dump. The weighted end is a CV knuckle from a Ford F-150 4x4 front axle. I used some salvaged fire brick from my wood stove to bring the deck up level with the brake rotor flange. Then I put some wood ash on there just to fill in the cracks. Also note that this is a different brake rotor than the original. This is a rear brake rotor that had an emergency brake drum. Here's the entire forge up to this point. You can see the tool tray on the far right. The blower is salvaged from a gas furnace. It is the combustion chamber vent blower, wired into a dimmer switch mounted on the far side of the tool tray. It was getting kind of shaky, so I added some diagonal bracings. The original wheels were pretty flimsy, so I exchanged them for a stouter pair, salvaged off the power rake. The extended sides that I removed earlier have been modified and are on the deck to retain fuel. They are removable in case I need to work larger pieces. Here's another look at that brake rotor drum combination. It's fairly deep, and there is one of the bolts that hold the tweer to the drum. The drum is about 3.5 inches deep. I used 3/4 inch plate to fabricate this grill. Once it's in there, that makes the depth of the drake prom about 2.5 inches from the surface. And at times when I need less air, I'll put this plate in, this insert. Usually goes on the bottom of the 3/4 inch plate. It's good for coal. I take it out when I'm using it for corn. In this configuration, however, this forge burns a lot of fuel. I was watching a few videos by DF in the shop, and his idea to improve the efficiency was to put these inserts in to reduce the volume of the forged nest. I never actually used these. I took this idea one step further and created an insert out of 1/4 inch plate that is on all 4 sides. As I said, this is about 2.5 inches deep. The bottom of the nest is about 3.5 inches. The top is more like 6 inches across. The last modification I've made is replacing the original fan with another gas furnace combustion chamber vent fan, and then using 4-inch dryer vent pipe to connect to the tweer. And that, in a nutshell, is my backyard forge.